So the other thing I wanted to show you briefly was just how to add something. And so there's a lot of different ways you can add things. You can add things from the dashboard here. There's some other places you can add stuff. If you're searching, you can also add stuff there, but we're just going to add here. And if you add here, you'll notice that basically you just get that same work form that we looked at earlier, but everything is blank. So you're going to need to take the metadata mapping and that metadata guideline tool and just kind of go through it because you're going to want to follow the standards in terms of how it's laid out. Of course, we are still using that GMD, that General Material Designator. There's a lot of reasons for that, and I can't really go into all of that within a 2 or 3 minute description even. The other things to note that I think this is very nice is that you can you can expand the box if you need to expand it a little bit more. And the other thing is, like for subject headings, if you want to add more, and of course usually the rule is 3 or more, but as many as you can possibly do, but you need to make sure that you're just using a proper subject heading. So for example, know that women in education is one, and I don't know if we'll be able to get it to pop up, but there should be a Library of Congress pop-up. There we go. So it does have a link to the Library of Congress subject headings, and what happens is it goes out and queries against the linked data version of the Library of Congress subject headings, and this is a plugin that I added. The only issue is it's a little bit slow, so if you're working on a certain group of photos and you know that you have, for example, a lot of women in the photographs or whoever it might be, then you can go ahead and just kind of make a note to yourself that you're going to add that subject heading for all of them. So, there are ways to kind of do that work. So when you go through, you just go through the whole process. You go down the list. You don't have to add everything in. You saw from the example I was showing earlier that we didn't add every single field in, but there are a lot of fields that need to be added, and if you follow that metadata guidelines and mapping, that gives you all the information in terms of what fields you need to put in. Names are inverted names, so it's last name first, first name, middle initial usually, but if you have access to the VIAF or the name authority file, that's really the best way. You can also query and see if people are in here already, because I have added a lot of people. So for example, if you had something that had Dan Smith in it, you could look and you might be able to find, here's one with Dan Smith in it, and then you can look and see how his name has been used. So in the case of Dan Smith, his name is, his actual official authorized form of his name is Smith, Daniel J, Daniel Jerome, and then his birth date. So for some of us who have either published before, if you've done a thesis or dissertation, if it was submitted to dissertation abstracts or ProQuest, then your name may very well be in the authorized form someplace. So that's sort of a very quick snapshot of how you go about adding a document.